If you're thinking about ProsperOps, could you describe them in one word?
Easy.
Diligent.
Savings.
How's ProsperOps helped you?
Oh man, they've helped us save a ton of money, I think 20% on our compute resources. And the great thing is that it's really just me kind of heading it up. We don't have a full FinOps team. And really that was the point. I kept telling everyone that it required multiple people to run FinOps, and this allows me to just set it and go.
They currently manage all of our EC2 RIs, so my engineering team, they can go make instance type switches, and ProsperOps has us fully covered.
I'm here at the ProsperOps breakfast with Steve Tretch. Steve, I've got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, the first one is, what are you looking forward to at AWS Reinvent?
I think just seeing the community all around FinOps, all the cost efficiency and the cost optimization kind of features that have been launched, just understanding more and meeting those product leaders and discussing the kind of topics with them.
I'm here to learn as much as I can on the new products and learn as much cost savings as I can.
We just have so many meetings with our existing partners, new partners, customers. It's just a fabulous event.
I love the sessions, learning a lot. I'd love to come here and see what is the best thinking that we're encountering. Helps you gauge yourself, helps you gauge, are we really still at the cutting edge, or is there can we learn from others as well?
I'm trying to understand and learn new technologies that people are using for FinOps practices.
This has always been the conference. This is my 9th or 10th one that has so much energy around cloud, which I love. And the community here in the early days of FinOps was very small. There were not a lot of people talking about cost. And this year, I think there's something like 16 different sessions around cost optimization, FinOps. So getting all those people together, which we're doing tonight at our event, really excited to have those conversations. Also, there were so many amazing AWS product releases in this area that have come out the last couple of days. So today we've got all the product managers coming in, and we're going to start to unpack all the details and context of those with the community and how they start to affect the practice.
What do you see for FinOps and cost optimization in 2024?
Oh, I think it has to be the top one. I think it has to be the adoption of the focus. So the FinOps Open Cost Usage Specification, version 1.0. Preview is out now, and 1.0 is coming out in January, February. So I think people are going to start adopting that more in enterprises and seeing how that evolves across 2024. That's going to be super exciting.
I think we're going to see increasing automation, and I think we're going to see a stampede toward AI. I think that's really where it's going to go.
I'm not going to say the buzzy AI word because everybody's saying it. But I think,
Well, you just said it, so we won't go.
You caught me. The innovation that's really happening is sort of a simple thing, though, and we talk about it a lot in the community, but it's people are starting to move past this idea of FinOps as a standalone practice or a standalone platform or set of tools, FinOps being a part of the rest of the engineering org. A lot of the things we're seeing out of the AWS announcements here are around things like, how do we start to pull data from our Cur file into QuickSight, pull it into other areas? How do we get focus compatible mappings and data out there so that the rest of the business can interpret the spend in ways that they haven't been able to before? So I think the innovation in FinOps this year is really coming less from technology and more from standardization of terminology through the work that all the clouds are doing to align against the focus standard. It's coming through, I think, a maturity of large orgs who are integrating FinOps into their larger disciplines. And for the smaller cutting edge people, yes, it is starting to get into, I think, the real world aspect of people are finally starting to automate a lot of the optimizations. We are starting to see the cloud providers. I was at the Microsoft conference 2 weeks ago, and they've launched a Copilot, AI Copilot for FinOps. So we are starting to see those things come in with natural language conversations, interrogating the data. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes next year.
My prediction is I think if FinOps is going to blow up and become a huge thing, it's going to be now, right? Software companies are looking for ways to actually reduce cost, and our cost of goods sold is the first or second line item on the P&L.
What are some of the biggest challenges you see companies experiences with cost optimization?
It's going to start with segmentation, honestly. There's a huge interplay between being efficient and understanding where all the cost was generated and where it came from. So we believe that it's totally foundational to get the segmentation correct, fully trace all the costs, and critically, make sure you can trace all the costs to responsible parties. And that means a human that clicks something that caused dollars to go out the window. That's the first challenge that starts there.
I think the asset management of their financial products within their AWS accounts, so RIs.
The challenges in 24 are really company dependent because 8 years ago, come to this event, it was like the Netflixes and the Atlassians and these like cloud native folks. And I was sitting next to somebody on the plane who was from a company that does printed checks, and they're here working, on their AWS migration and optimization. And I think to your question, what we're seeing this year is there's a lot of that longer tail of smaller businesses, I would argue even laggard businesses who are now going heavily in on cloud. So it's interesting to see now you've got those cloud native, the giant, you've got the banks who are very advanced and AWS and these folks, but now we're seeing the rest of the world come in, and show up and sort of start to figure out what are the challenges that they need to face. It's the same things. It's how do I get engineers to take action? How do I get allocation of costs underneath that? Savings is important, a lot of people are looking at, but it's also that action of, okay, once I take down the savings, how do I get the governance in place? And how do I start to get the reporting in place? So a lot of the things that we're seeing come out of this conference from AWS and from the community around, okay, how do I start to get the organization ready to adopt all this great technology and features that are out there so that I can do more efficient growth and get to better unit economics in all those areas.
I like it. Thank you, Ricky.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, BK, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, JR. I appreciate it.
Thanks, John.